got comics in my game.
You got games in my comics.
Oh.
Welcome to episode 46 of Around the Board, recorded on August 18th, 2024. This is a show where four board game enthusiasts discuss board games and board game topics. We start the show off today reflecting on Gen Con. After pontificating, we move on to everybody's favorite play, shelf, trade. And switching gears into our third segment, we'll ask, is Comic Hunters hot or not? Rounding out the show, we beg the question to each and every one of us. We'll ask, what has the board game industry and board gaming done for you lately? What's good in this world? Here are your hosts, Daniel, Life is Boggled Connors, Chris, the Gatekeeper Thomason, John, Millenniphile, Theismann, and yours truly, Andy, I play co-ops at Barnett. No, I don't. I had to read this. Oh my gosh, I had to read what's written there. Yeah, join us around the board now. I do play co-ops. They made me. I like to, it's funny. We've had an inside joke on our show that last year at Gen Con, I wore this polo shirt, and John and Chris showed up in T-shirts, and I looked like I was the supervisor. Well, this year, Daniel was more the supervisor because he's made me do homework. He made me work on a Friday night. He was like, I'm your boss. You got to work on Friday night tonight. We're going to play co-op so we can talk about it on the show. And I said, okay, boss, whatever.
Right, it was glorious. I actually made Andy play Sentinels of the Multiverse, and of all co-ops, the most like Ameritrash, just like thematic one that you could play. It was a glorious night, and I almost got him to play Legendary as well, but we ran out of time.
Shoot, that was just too bad. Oh, by the way, also, I got a clarification.
You want to explain what Millenniphile is?
Explain that.
That's what I was going to say. As I just got that clarification from producer Randy. Millenniphile. I thought maybe it had to do with like somebody who hated millennials, and I was like, well, that could be John. Yeah. But apparently, a Millenniphile is a hat lover. A hat lover.
Yeah,
there you go.
That makes sense now.
Instead of calling Town Vassal Board Game Jesus, we can call him a Millenniphile.
I don't think we better do that.
Let's be careful. Let's be careful. John, what haberdashery did you visit for that fine cap?
Actually, this one was online. Some people are I think people have asked me about that. Why do you wear that weird hat? Well, when we first started making videos, like way back, 2 years ago, something like that?
Way back in the aughts.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no.
I used to wear a stocking cap. It was like wintertime, and I was wearing a stocking cap for the first few videos, and then then I drew the logo guys, and I was like, well, everybody else has hair, I'll draw me with the stocking caps. And I was like, well, I don't want to wear a stocking cap all the time, but this one has that little ridge on it, so it looks a little bit like a stocking cap, and so I match my logo. So it's basically a ball cap with no brim, and it has a little ridge instead.
I always think of it, you kind of look like a cat burglar.
That too. Yeah, there's always that.
But what's funny about that hat is when you see it in person, it doesn't look great. It's a goofy looking hat.
The hat itself, or me with the hat?
You with the hat.
Maybe it's both.
What's really funny is that I'm going to be honest, I didn't know you wore a different hat ever. I didn't know there was a stocking cap at one point and not that. In my mind, it's always been that hat.
Well, it was very early on, like test videos and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
I guess that's
fair. Maybe an episode. That's about it.
What people don't realize, it wasn't the real deal then. So
what people don't realize is we did test videos, we did test audiences, we did polling, we did so much stuff for prepare for this show. Not really.
No.
All that work, and look where it got us.
Yeah, exactly.
Look where we're at now. We're making
Boy,
it.
have we made it.
Look at me now, Mom. See this, Dad?
We said,
I'm a winner.
We need to start because we're never going to be good enough.
It's true.
I think that's actually what we said.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. Any other announcements, Daniel?
Yeah, well, we do have a big announcement. Well, the contest, but that's going to be here in just a second. So before we get to that, I do want to talk about, I was recently a guest on a podcast. So we have finally arrived, and we meet big time when somebody came and asked us to be on a podcast. Actually, they didn't ask. They just put it out in the world. And I said, I'll do it. And they go, okay, sure. Whatever. What do you do again?
About $30 was involved as well.
You took the bait.
I did pay them $50. No, that part is not true. But it was it's a podcast called Will It Game from One Board Game Family. I'll have a link down below so you guys can listen to it. But the whole pitch is that they essentially do the board game mashup that we do, or tabletop team up. But they do an entire podcast of that.
You mean the Twister game? The Twister
Yeah,
game?
exactly. The Twister game. Yes, that. So they take games and mechanics, they'll mash them up, and they come up with their own game, and then they present it to a guest, and that guest has to decide which game they would rather play. And the guest gets to pick like the theme or the mechanic that they build around. So guess what theme I picked? You'll never guess.
Marvel.
Marvel, that's right. That's right. They made 2 Marvel games, and honestly, they both sounded better than most of the Marvel games out there
They
right now.
sounded pretty
So
good.
I told them,
Shocker.
yeah, they yes. So, anyways, check out that. They were really fun podcast to be a part of, and I'm glad they let me have a chance to be
And
on
the
it.
weird words of Will Ferrell and Elf, that's shocking.
I do want to point out that, by the way, earlier when I was laughing when you played the Twister song, Andy, that was not actually in validation of what you're doing. I was purely laughing at John because I could tell like it was pure disgust truly on his face.
Oh, I know. I know. I live for that disgustful look. Disgustful?
He does.
Whatever. I live for it. I do. Oh, final announcement, though. We have a big award to hand out. Not an award, a game, a prize. We call it an award, too. Can we call it an award? We can add
they do it a Christmas Story, right? It's a major award, right?
It's a major award. It must be French or Italian.
But speaking of major awards, though, I think a lot of people don't know out there that our the green guy, as he's been come to be known, Andy Barnett, is a world-renowned voiceover artist, and he won a major award recently. I think it was for best disclaimer in a lottery commercial, or best pronunciation of a hyphenated word, or something like that. But
it was automotive commercial for True North Chevy dealers.
That's what it was. Okay, well, there we go.
Yes. Andy, I like the word you came up with, John.
Andy, you put the suck in success, buddy. Good job.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'm so honored by you, and I will get you. I will find you. No, but what people really want to know is who won our Gen Con contest, and we're going to tell you in just a bit. Are we going to do it right now, Daniel? Are we going to do it now? We're going to draw live?
Yeah, look, Randy has a little thing, and he pushes the button.
Thing. I just saw that. I was like,
there we go.
So everybody that we met at Gen Con, we asked them to subscribe to our show and comment on our Gen Con giveaway video, and we were going to give away 2 games, and we still are. We're going to give away River Valley Glassworks.
Glassworks, that's right.
See? But it just
not
took me a few weeks.
The upgraded version, just the basic version. You'll have to upgrade it on your own.
I actually think the basic version may be better, but anyway, we'll get to that someday.
Save it for the show.
Save it for the show. And then we're also giving away a copy of this game right behind me here, over here. Can you see it? Rock Hard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which we got autographed by Jackie Fox, who is the designer of the game and the former bassist for the Runaways.
Yeah, very good.
Oh, wow.
Did you?
Very cool. That's right. That's right. She's highly involved. That's right.
Did you know there's a funny story about this? I don't think I've told any of you this yet. So because of voiceover and voice acting, I go out to Los Angeles from time to time.
Right.
And I
Never
joined.
told us that.
Oh well. Anyway, let me finish. I went to a board game meetup there once in West Hollywood, and I got to know a few people out there, mainly a guy named Ryan, who's I've been buddies with. And anyway, he invited me to this thing. We played at a pizza place. I played with Jackie Fox before.
Nice.
I played. I thought I recognized her at the thing, and I was like, wait a minute. And he messaged me. Ryan messaged me afterwards, and said, yeah, that's the girl we played Takedo with. I was like, oh, okay.
Very cool.
There you go. I've already played a game with her before.
There you go. That's pretty nice.
Anyway, we're going to give away a copy of this game, and it's the hotness at Gen Con. Everybody's raving about it. So without further ado, Daniel, how are we going to do this?
Right. Yeah. Let's roll it for the Rock Hard first, and then we will do River Valley Glassworks after that. But over on the right-hand side of the screen, we will have a list of people's names, and it's whatever name shows up there is the winner.
Okay.
So without further ado.
All right, so our winners are X-Nuclear Gaming X and the New American Underground. Congratulations. Nuclear Gaming is going to get Rock Hard 1977, and the New American Underground is going to get a copy of River Valley Glassworks.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Super
Congratulations.
Excited. Yeah, congrats.
Yes, very excited.
That's so awesome.
Thank you.
So
Those are both.
Yeah, I'm gonna respond to your comments and on the video, and I'll ask you to send us an email with your information.
Yes, there's the delayed response, the delayed clapping. So excited. Yeah, we're really excited to be able to do that. You know, it's something fun that we want to do here from time to time is give out some cool stuff. and just invite people to be a part of the show. So, with that said, let's get into the show, shall we?
Ooh.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game.
That's right. Around the Board is all about debating different topics within tabletop gaming in 4, count them 4, unique segments, each hosted by one of us. Behind-the-scenes judge will award points at the end of the show. The handsomest contestant with the most points will be awarded 2 uninterrupted Table Talk minutes. I don't think I've ever seen anybody win that has that description. Now it's time to play the game.
Round 1. Fight!
First up, we've got Gen Con Pontify. In this segment, we're going to pontificate about what we thought about Gen Con. And really, it's Daniel and I doing most of the heavy lifting here because John and Chris couldn't make it this year, but they got to witness it from afar and maybe heard some stories and stuff and followed it on social media. So I'll start us off. I'm going to just talk about this, and I don't have them in a top 5 order per se, but I'll just tell you the best playthrough game that I got to try for the first time was Forges of Ravenshire.
Really?
Which was highly mocked by all of you guys because it turns out that you are absolutely correct. It was on my games that I was interested in at Gen Con 2 years in a row, and I didn't even realize it.
Is this the raccoon game or the badger or whatever?
The badger game, yes.
Okay.
Badger with the tongue.
Yes. No, I didn't buy it because although it is a fantastic engine builder and I really enjoyed it, I felt it was just a little bit too overpriced for me. It was $70. And I think if I can find it a little cheaper, I will definitely pick up a copy, but I'm trying to change my ways and not just buy something immediately when it goes on sale at the top price. So great game. One of the best experiences I had playing a new game at Gen Con, Forges of Ravenshire. Daniel, what have you got? What's one of your moments from Gen Con?
Oh, we're just gonna go back and forth. That's cool.
We can.
I'm down with that.
Okay, sure.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with an Age Contrived. It was kind of the game, like you know how some people ask, oh, what's the surprise of the con or whatever. That was a game that was not on my radar anywhere. I was just walking through the hall and I saw a very flashy sign, and then I saw them with this little metal thing that like shot these little like pieces, and I was like, well, that's interesting. That shooting the pieces actually had nothing to do with the game. That was just a little add-on and something they were showing, and the whole shooting thing was an accident, and we spent a lot of time trying to recreate it, and it never got recreated. But I digress. The other reason that this game was really interesting is I walked by and I was like, oh, this looks like a gaudy Ameritrash game that Randy would make me play and, you know, waste 5 hours of my day with. And then as I'm walking by, I hear the guy say, it's a Euro. And I was like, okay, now I'm intrigued. So I sat there and I listened to it, and it's like this area control Euro game that the coolest thing about it is that I don't know what that says there. Is that on your list? It was on Chris's short list.
It was on my short list.
Nice. Nice. But the coolest things about it is that as you're building the landscape, there's like this magnet buildings. And they look like cardboard because they are, but there's like a magnet inside it, and they just plunk right to the metal. Super cool. I picked that one up, and I got to meet. We demoed with the designer too, so we got to know him. And he said if we liked the game, he'd come on our show.
Oh, cool! Fantastic.
And to be fair,
you said you did pick it up, or it was hard to hear you. You said you did, or you told people to pick it up.
I picked it up. I got it.
Fantastic! I'm looking forward to play that one. Awesome.
So, funny thing, I got to demo this one too, and it is a fun game. I'm excited about getting it to the table. Daniel was like a kid in a candy shop at Gen Con. First day, he's like, I don't know how many games you spent. But did you spend $500 the first day? I feel like it was like close to $500.
I mean, probably.
So yeah, he was like a kid in a candy shop there, and I swear to you, I was not there 20 minutes before he was like, hey, can we go back to your car? I'm like, dude, we
already want to go home, huh?
He had like bags upon bags. I mean, looked like the Hunchback of Notre Dame with, anyway.
And he's like, I'm still trying to find it. Where 2,200 is. I'm trying to,
what? Exactly.
But for my first Gen Con, man, I had some major skills. I got around. What can I say?
You did.
Very good.
Yeah, good for you. John and Chris, do you want to add anything that was interesting to you from Gen Con from afar?
Well, not what's interesting to me from afar was Daniel seems to have taken this completely in stride. And I know the first time I went to Gen Con, I was just mind blown. I was blown away and I was overstimulated and I wanted to do everything all at once. And I went everywhere that anything was going on with Gen Con just to see what it was, if it was video games, if it was, RPG, whatever. I just want to see what they were doing. I had to be everywhere and take it all in. And Daniel goes out there and he comes back and says, yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I liked it. Yeah. I'm like, what? I was expecting him to just be, I can't sleep for a week kind of and it was not that reaction. I was very surprised.
He was happier than you realize. He was just tired.
Don't get me wrong. I was ecstatic to be there, but everyone was like, "What'd you do?" And I was like, honestly, I just walked. I did feel that way, John. I walked like 10,000 more steps than the average person. Like literally, at the end of the day, I was like in so much pain that on Sunday I couldn't even get out of bed. Like I was so like it wasn't overwhelmed. I just wanted to take it in all in. And then now when I got back from Gen Con, I'm like, I missed so much stuff. Yeah. Like, what just happened? Crazy.
Yeah.
So
it's nuts.
Yeah, it's truly got to a point where it's like it's impossible to do everything. Like it's like it was bad when it was rough in 2017 when I was there, and then 2022, 2022, it was like impossible. Like I actively try to be like, okay, I'm gonna try to go to all the different areas and everything. It's just not possible. It's so big, which is a good thing. Don't misunderstand, but it's just. Yeah, like if your aspiration is I'm going to make sure I see everything, it's also just so spread out. It's now across like how okay, when we were there like 2 years ago, whatever, it was like 4 hotels, maybe 2 hotels or something like that. How many hotels was it spread across this time in addition to the stadium and the convention center?
At least
I still think it was the 4.
Okay. I think it was the 4, but they're building a new one right now. They're in the midst of building a huge one right across from the convention center. So.
Yeah,
wow.
It's just so big. I mean, it's awesome. It's a super,
it's really cool.
Feather in the cap of the gaming community for sure. that it's spread out so much, but it's just like it's just impossible to do it all. So yeah.
So it's cool. That leads me to my next thing about Gen Con, and this is going to be one that maybe we can all talk about, and that is, what did I miss out on that I wish I had done? Well, I really went into it thinking I would do more with Star Wars Unlimited because they had so many drafts and tournaments going on and different things and people selling cards and buying singles. And I thought I would really get into that. And I brought a bunch of my stuff, but then I just got so carried away with other things that I really didn't get into doing that at all, period. Didn't get to do it all. And that could have been my whole con, could have been just doing Star Wars Unlimited. And I think that's what some people did, but that's something I missed out on that I kind of wish I'd done some of, but at the same time, there was just so much going on. Daniel?
That's right. I have no regrets, so I can't follow up with that. But I will talk about, since you mentioned tournaments, I will talk about the Unmatched tournament. I actually got involved in the Unmatched tournament scene there. I got to play in 3 different ones, and I was eliminated in the first round for 2 of them. But in the third one, I ended up taking home the gold. So we got another champion on the podcast here. So Chris, you need to be the 4th one here. Join some games so you can get a trophy. I didn't really get a trophy though. What I got was this. I got a play mat, neoprene play mat.
Oh, nice.
So,
I mean, in some ways, that's better than a trophy in some ways.
Right.
That's right.
Absolutely. It's actually fun.
I'm gonna hang this up on my wall and write first place on it.
You do you.
No, but it was really cool to hang out with the people at the Unmatched tournament and the Unmatched people. I actually got to meet a YouTuber that I watch who does a lot of content for Unmatched, and I'm forgetting his name right off the bat, so I apologize for that. But I'll put another link in the descriptions for that. He likes to tier rate the different characters and stuff, and got to know him a little bit and got to talk to him. Also got to meet the guy who created who's going to be working on the Ninja Turtle set. And the reason I met him was because he had a X-Men shirt on that was his name, and that of course caught my attention. And I asked him, and dude, we talked, me and this guy, we literally have the identical stories. Like everything about how he came into comics, how he came into board games, how he came into the hobby in general, identical, except he actually, made something. I didn't.
You made around the board, Daniel. You made around the board.
There you go.
That's right.
So, John, what is something from Gen Con that you feel like you missed out on from afar?
What I missed out on both times I was there, and I hear it wasn't even there this time, was the free food in the Rio Grande room, because
Yeah.
both years I was there, it seemed like I had so much going on. Oh, I got to get up to the Rio Grande room. Oh, they're out of food again. Doggone it! I got to remember to get here earlier.
They
That's
weren't there.
that's what is that, 8 days or whatever that I was there too late to get food, and now they don't have it. So was there no Rio Grande room this year?
There
Is
was
that the deal?
they were not there this year. It was a real disappointment
Wow.
because that is usually one of my. That's like, you know how people they have like a quiet room, a sensory room. That's kind of like my quiet room. I like going to the
Gotcha.
Rio Grande room because it's real chill, real laid back, and you can
It
just
really is.
played games. But no, they weren't there unfortunately this year.
I will say what I feel like I missed out on is apparently that like Gnome Hollow game. Like
Yeah.
I hadn't really heard about this game at all, and everyone talks about like the game of the show, right? And like that's a whole can of worms. What's that really mean and stuff like that. But to me is when like after Gen Con, I see it everywhere. And like every person posting their haul had this game, and I've not heard anything about it. I actually recently talked to one of our friends at our second Friday game night, Topher, and like he was telling me about the kind of the story behind it. He kind of knows the guy who made it, and he's like kind of a self-made man and just kind of put it out there himself. And I just again like every person I saw. So did you guys actually see this? Did you play it? I see it like in every person's photo.
I did not play it. I did see it, and they had a really cool balloon art thing. And
Yeah.
the balloon art, the guys got up and danced around. It was so cool. But what I heard it described as is similar to Carcassonne, but less confrontational. And that kind of turned me off a little because I kind of like the confrontation in Carcassonne. But
Sure.
I do want to try it out at some point. But yeah, you're right. It was everywhere.
Yeah, I almost bought it. It even had a coupon that came with a free gnome, and I could have went there, but honestly, I didn't see it day one. They weren't ready to sell it when I got there because I got in just a little bit early. So like I kind of went there first, and they're like, "Oh, we're not going to be ready yet," and I was like, "Okay, that's fine. I'll come back," and I just never got back there. So and then when I could have went and bought it, I was like, I already spent too much money. I probably should stop. So, but it was on my radar.
And then one quick thing before we wrap this up, real quick, I'm going to give you my highlight of Gen Con. We can do this real fast. You could say it was the tournaments I played in, which I did play in a Crokinole tournament, and I ranked number 5 out of 46, which was pretty sweet.
Very nice.
Played in the Skull King tournament again, Cat in the Box tournament. Those were fun. But probably my highlight for the last few Gen Cons is playing social deduction games. And it was no disappointment again this year. I got to play Blood on the Clock Tower 3 or 4 times. And one time I was the imp and successfully convinced them that I was good all the way down to the end. And we won. And it was just the most satisfying thing ever. It was amazing. Poor Daniel wanted to join us, but he just kind of sat around because he never got there on time, so he got to sit and watch us play for a few hours because we played till 2 or 3 in the morning a couple
Oh
of
my
nights.
gosh.
But the
Oh,
reason I
so
didn't get
fun.
there in time was because I was doing other things like actually networking and meeting people. And I want to talk about the people that I met. And that is largest group that I hung out with was Love Thy Nerd. It's a Christian group that comes to these conventions just to demo and be there and be the light to this world and all that stuff. And I got to meet up with them with Luke. I'm not. It's like a Philippak, I think is what his last name is. Sorry if I mispronounced your name there, Luke. But he was a great guy. We just sat in the game room one night and we just talked for a very long time about what Gen Con looks like and about the mission of his organization that he's part of and how to become part of that. So Love Thy Nerd was really cool. And then I also got to meet up with a friend of the show, Jack Dunbar. He created New Kingdom Gardeners. He actually sent us a review copy, and that's actually how we started to meet him. And just this great guy, and I love talking to him, and we spent a lot of hours talking as well. But yeah, because of that, I ended up missing the social deduction nights. So, but it was worth it. It was still a great time.
Yeah, lots of stuff. We barely scratched the surface of what's available at Gen Con in our few comments here. Did you go to Gen Con? Have you ever been to Gen Con? What was it like for you, or do you have any interesting stories to share? Please feel free to mention them in the comments below. Let us know, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very, very much.
Round 2. Fight!
All right, round 2 comes to me, and it's our famous Play Shelf Trade segment. We take 3 games. We usually have a theme connecting them. Today, we're talking about comic hunters. So with the theme, we're going with superhero games for our Play Shelf Trade. So we're going to have 3 games to choose from. And one of them, you decide you just got to play that right now. That's got to hit the table. The other one, it's a good game. It's a game that I'm going to play a lot, but maybe I don't have to play it right now. I'll put that on my shelf because that's going to get played. And the other one, and that's garbage. It's got to get out of here. We're trading that as soon as we can. And so our superhero games that we're going to decide this on today are the Unmatched Marvel games, the brand new hotness Invincible game, and also the classic Sentinels of the Multiverse. Unmatched Marvel, if you're not familiar, is a 2 to 4 player skirmish game, card driven, where everyone has a unique set of cards thematically matched to their character, and they have a large selection of Marvel characters. This is why that's connected. It's all pretty much fictional characters, some real people are in it, but in Unmatched in general, but they have a large selection of Marvel characters. Why it made this list. Invincible is based on the very popular cartoon animated series. Rather, I don't really think you'd call it a cartoon.
And comic book
Invincible. And so it's got a really cool I don't know what vibe to it. I don't know. It's really neat. It's been really popular. Now this game came out, and it's like you're building your superhero through deck building is the way it looks like. So it looks really cool. And Sentinels the Multiverse, the classic co-op fighting against one big bad guy or whatever, with a bunch of these people created this amazing world of superheroes that became comics after that. Am I right, Daniel? Didn't they become comics after that?
There's a couple of comics, but honestly, the sets just have these robust histories about them, and they like pretend there's comics out about them. Like they're like in issue 5, this happened.
Yeah,
there was no issue 5.
It was. I mean, it was a lot of heart and soul poured into it, and it was basically the designers wanted to do this to pitch it for a Marvel IP when they first made it, and they're like, we're just going to make it so good that it's its own game, and we're going to make these characters so good. So they just skipped the IP, and it became wildly successful. So that's our 3 we have to choose from, and I'm going to go ahead and go first. This one was pretty, even though all of these are quality games, this was easy for me. My shelf it's on my shelf. I got all the Unmatched on my shelf. And Unmatched Marvel is, I play those characters a lot in the Tales to Amaze, and where you can play it co-op against people, because a lot of people don't like to lose to me in Unmatched. So we play Tales to Amaze, and we can go after one big bad guy together. So that's going to be on my shelf, because that's going to get played ad infinitum. I don't know when that will ever not get played. So Unmatched on my shelf. Invincible is the new hotness that I've got to try. I've heard nothing but good things about it. It sounds amazing. It's not my type of game to own, and I don't think I would like it long term, but just to see how it plays, I've got to try that. And it just, the graphics, the how everything looks spread out when you're playing it looks really cool. So Invincible, that's going to be my play. Sentinels of the Multiverse, I've played it once, and it's just not my kind of game. It's, like I said, you can tell the heart and soul was poured into it, but I'm afraid that's going to have to get traded. Sentinels, I'm sorry, bye-bye. But that's mine. Unmatched Marvel on the shelf, and Invincible is going to get played. What do you guys say? Chris, we'll go to you, buddy.
Man. Okay, so this one's really tough, guys. There's a lot of dumb people out there that really like Unmatched and Sentinels of the Multiverse. So, like, there's value in trading one of them, but I can't figure out which one's more valuable. I guess I'll go with the hotness. Like, Unmatched is more new, so maybe there's more suckers out there willing to buy it for a big amount of money. So I'll trade that, and then I'll go and shelf Sentinels in the Multiverse. Like most games, I'll put it on my shelf and never play it ever again. And then by process of elimination, and since I've never played it, I will play Invincible. And actually, that does sound kind of cool, deck building a superhero. So
yeah,
that's my play shelf trade.
All right, that was very concise.
Wow, you never disappoint us. You just never disappoint.
A, that was the shortest segment you've ever done. B, you insulted everyone. Congratulations. You did it.
That's what I'm here for.
Unlike Chris, I don't think you're dumb if you like dumb games. I just think you have unique tastes. You are unique in and of your own right. That's right.
Yes.
So, you guys put me in a real bind here, because first of all, you gave me Unmatched, which I have played a few times and just never been blown away about, and then you gave me 2 cooperative games. So I feel like this was just one giant setup for me, because I missed our planning meeting, which it may very well be. So I'm just screwed and stuck with these 3 as our play shelf trade. I did get Sentinels of the Multiverse played. That was my penance for missing the meeting and trying to do my due diligence to give a cooperative a chance again. And I will tell you this, I survived it. I didn't die from boredom. I came close. I came really close to dying from boredom. I blame that partially on Daniel for picking the easiest possible bad guys, so it felt like we really didn't make important choices. Maybe I would have liked it more if there really were some strategy involved, but the one we played, there was not a lot of strategy. It was just frankly going through the motions, going, oh, I guess I should do this because this is the most powerful attack. Okay, boom, next. It wasn't very thrilling. I enjoyed the company. I enjoyed playing with both Randy and Daniel, but that did not leave a good taste in my mouth. So that one is definitely going to be the one I trade away. Is going to be Sentinels of the Multiverse. For the others, I have not played Invincible yet, so that's going to be my play. It's definitely it's one of the hot ones at Gen Con, and it's by Direwolf, and I love the guys at Direwolf, so I'm going to get that played and see what I think of it. I do like the deck building mechanic. Again, it is cooperative, which makes me a little queasy, but you know what? I'll give it a chance. I got to play that and see what it's like, and then I will actually put Unmatched, despite my hesitation, on the shelf because I do like to have some 2-player games on hand. And I really should give it more of a chance. I'll grant you that. I should give it more of a chance. Now, the ones I played were not the Marvel ones either. I played, I think, some of the really base ones, like I think I played Robin Hood and Sinbad or something like that. Some of the early ones. So maybe I'd like it better. I don't know.
Well, the game hasn't changed much since then, which is a good thing because a game like that, you want that first set to be compatible with the last set and still be competitive.
Well, I'm just saying the theme didn't really do much for me. Maybe the Marvel theme would draw me in a little bit better, although I'm no fanboy like you, so...
Yeah, it depends on if you would even. It depends on if you would even realize how the decks are constructed to match that character, because that's something that someone like Daniel and I can have an appreciation for. Like, oh, that's why this happens to Elektra, and this is why this is awesome with there and Bullseye, how he can hit people from everywhere. It's so cool, so thematic. But
so could you be? Is there a set with Iron Man and Doctor Doom?
There is not a set with either.
Because I would think that'd be the perfect set at this
point.
That
would be.
Robert Downey Jr. is apparently going to play Dr. Doom as well.
Yes.
So anyway.
It's no surprise to me that the most expensive set is the Deadpool set. And the reason for that clearly is because you have the ability to get a fourth wall breaking benefit of a free drink from someone. Because that's the only reason you're playing that game, in my opinion.
Very nice. True.
That's why you're going to spend $100 on there, because there's an off chance that someone might buy me a drink.
Correct. Correct. If I got to suffer through this game, at least I better buy the guy that has a chance of getting me a drink.
All right. So I actually am going to put Unmatched as my play. Or no. Sorry, as my shelf. Shelf. Because I want to keep this one forever. Mm-hmm. I love Unmatched, as we talked about in my Gen Con episode. I actually played an Unmatched tournament and won. I think Unmatched is an incredible game in its simplicity and yet its rich choices. And then when you're playing it in that tournament format, it really shines. And then the people that every tournament I've ever played of Unmatched has been just a pleasure with the person that I'm fighting. Really good people are following that game, and it's just fun to be a part of. So that's a forever game for me. For my play, I'm going to actually put Sentinels of the Multiverse. And the reason why is because there is a definitive edition that actually I played with Andy, and that was my first time playing the definitive edition, but I have everything else, okay? I won't get into my big rant why the definitive edition made me angry, but let me put this little caveat in there. And that is, it was supposed to make the game a lot more straightforward and streamlined. And actually what I think it did is made the game really easy. We played against Baron Blade, which is the first villain. And in the original edition, while he was easy, he was by no means as easy as what we encountered Friday night. And it actually made me really sad. So I'm going to put it as a play because I need to play my old edition now and remind myself how good this game is and how good it can be. And then, even though I purchased it at Gen Con, my trade, just because I have to choose one of them to trade, would be Invincible. I'm excited to play it, so don't get me wrong. This is all in the context of choosing these 3 games. We have to choose something. Invincible is an IP I don't care about. The reason I got excited about it even was because of our friend and recent every episode commenter, Joe Coleman. He had mentioned that it was on his Gen Con list, and I was like, well, if Joe really is excited about this game and he doesn't care about the IP, and it's superheroes, I have to give it a shot too. So I am excited to play it. But out of those three, I guess it'll be my trade because I love the other two way too much. Invincible has a high bar to reach. So.
Yeah, Daniel, when you first were getting around to this and you're saying Invincible is going to be your trade, I'm thinking, okay, Daniel saw what everybody else said and he's just going to zag where everybody else zigged. But then you had a convincing argument, and I understand it. Yeah, you have no connection to the IP. It's purely just for the game effects of it, and you're not even sure of the game effects of it yet. So yeah, if there's one that would probably be an easy one for you to let go. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But these are
I'm
all
buying
shells.
it
I'm
now.
keeping
I
all
wasn't
of them.
buying it at first. All right. Well, what do you guys think out there with this group here for Play Shelf Trade? Do any of these strike your fancy? Do you find any of them enjoyable? Do you find all of them annoying, as Andy probably does? But let us know in the comments down below what you think. And we're going to take a little pause right now for a commercial break.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I want to say a big thank you to our friend, or my friend. I guess you guys don't know him, but he's a good guy. He likes board games as well. Knew him from improv comedy. His name is Colin Sandel. He's the one who sung that rendition of Gen Con #5 for
Very
us.
nice.
And hope you enjoyed the slideshow presentation. So we're ready to get back to it.
Let's do it. Oh, but first, we gotta go check in on
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. I preempted the one, the only, the magnificent Hansa.
Hello, guys. It's okay that you almost forgot me. I've been told that I'm kind of forgettable. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to read your wonderful fan mails. Our last episode was really exciting, and we had so many good choices to pick from. So I found a really good one that was really praising you guys.
All right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Hansa.
Praising.
Get to it.
Dear Around the Board, after Green Guy's reaction to Love Letter, I'll not even bother to continue watching. Furthermore, I have a follow-up. One says he dresses like a clown and has a straight clown opinion. And another guy says I prefer to skip people telling absolute crap about something great. Keep up the good work, gentlemen.
Well, first of all, thank you, Hansa. I wasn't the one dressed as a clown. That was Chris.
Shut up, green guy.
Well, maybe
Green
he was
guy.
calling Chris the green guy because it was a green clown outfit, was it not?
Maybe that was it.
Maybe it was never about the green square to begin with, guys.
Maybe it was never about you, Andy.
Never
That's
was.
wild.
Never
I'm just glad
is.
with all the positive comments we had, that's what Hansa picked out.
Yeah, we had some good ones,
Yeah.
Hansa. Why'd you got to
Thanks,
pick out
Hansa.
that garbage?
Hansa's such a good guy.
Round 3. Fight!
All right, in this segment, we have all recently played a game that is alleged to be the new hotness, but we'll be the judge of that. And today's game is Comic Hunters. That's right, it came out a couple of years ago from released in Brazil, but it is completely Oh, see, okay. Do I need to wait for
Go ahead. Go
Paris
ahead. I'm
Hilton to
sorry.
talk there? Okay.
Yes, you're fine.
So this game was hot 2 years ago in Brazil, but now it just got released here at Gen Con, or during Gen Con, because you could pick it up at Barnes & Noble even at the same time. But this game is wonderful, but let's go take a look on how to play.
Comic Hunters is played over 3 rounds. Each round is segmented into 3 different drafts, followed by organizing your collection. The board over here shows you the 4 different drafts that will occur throughout the game, with the convention draft happening every round. The goal of drafting the cards is collecting different types of comic books. Different characters will give you more points based on how many you've actually received. You can also get points based on the number of collections you have created. So if you've got all 8 heroes, you can get 40 points. You're also looking for types of comics, not just the heroes, but whether or not it's a first appearance, or a new look, or a hero versus somebody. The 4 drafts are the following. The first is where you get 4 cards, you pick one and pass the rest to your opponent. Then your opponent passes you 3, and you pick another one and pass another 2 over, and you go that till everyone has received 4 cards. The second draft you have will have 4 different lines of comics. On your turn, you will either take up to 4 comics from a row, or you'll take a new one, flip it over, and place it in one of the existing rows. So now the next person goes, they can take these 2, or they can flip another one. Once you flip the card, you have to place it. You can't take it until your next turn. The third draft is the online auction. You all have a secret stash of 15 victory points. So you can spend those 15 victory points to buy one of these lots of comics. When it's your turn, you will put one up to bid. You'll say, I want to put this row up for bid. And you will say, I'm going to bid 5. This goes around until everybody passes. Whoever bid the most will get the entire row. You do that till all the rows are gone. The last draft is the convention draft. This one works kind of like a slide puzzle. On your turn, you move 1 card over, and then you take every hero in that row, or in a row. In this case, I'll take those 2. In a later turn, you could even move this Black Widow all the way over here, and then take all the Black Widows in that row or column. This one's a snake draft, so whoever goes first will get first pick and last pick, and if you get last pick, you get 2 picks in a row. At the end of 3 drafting rounds, you will have a collection. It is your job to buy this collection and put it into play. You're going to do that by using the currency on each of the cards. So this card would cost 3 to play, but it also generates 3 money. So I could say I'm going to discard that card so that I can put these 3 Doctor Strange cards into play. Then I could say I wanted these 3. Now let's say I wanted these 3 Black Widow cards. That's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I would need to come up with 7 money in my hand. So I'd get rid of these 3 and this 1. I could keep 2 in my hand, so I'm going to keep that in for the next round. These 4 are discarded, and now these have entered my collection permanently. Then when the game is over, if you have 8 to 11 Doctor Strange comics, you would get 24. If you had 12 Spider-Man comics, you would get 32, and so forth. You would also score for the number of collections you have, so that's for each unique hero set of comics you've had. And then you will also score down here, and these are for your different types of comics, first appearances, new looks, and such. At the end of 3 rounds, whoever has the most victory points is the winner of Comic Hunters.
All right. Well, there we go. That's a quick overview of how to play Comic Hunters. Guys, just let me tell you about this game. I am a Marvel fanboy. If you didn't know that yet, news to you, right? So when this
Your
game...
first time, then.
That's right. When this game was announced and it was like, hey, here's a game with these actual comic book covers on it, it was a must buy. There was no way that I wasn't going to get that game. And a good friend of ours actually went out of his way and actually got it to me. So I have the Brazilian edition, and that's the one we've all played, but I'm pretty positive it's the same as the American edition. And this game just rings for me. Not only is the theme there, but also the actual drafting mechanic. This game has, I like to compare it to modern art, which is like this game about auctions, and there's like 5 different auctions. This is the modern art of drafting games. There are these several different drafts that are in there, and some of them are basic, but they're but the ones that are like fun to do are just awesome. Like the snake draft one, you have a 5x5 grid, and you move one card, and that allows you to take all of the characters in one row. And I just love that draft to the point where I was like, I kind of want to see a game completely around that scenario. It's just and also the other really cool thing about this game is how the first player is actually divvied out. So you, at the end of the turn round, you actually get to decide who the first player is, and that's important because if it just went around the table, then you might get a little bit of the shaft. But because it gets passed along, you actually have to position, like, when do I want to go first in this form of draft? So in the snake draft, you might want to go last. So if I pass it to the person who like if I pass it in round 1 to the person who would end up going second in the draft, they might pass it back to me so that I end up going first in the draft. So like I don't really want to do that. So you're always trying to decide where that first player is going. I don't know. This is a very unique game. I'm glad it's here in America to purchase now, and you just need to try this out. Really great game.
So you're saying it's hot? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it's hot.
Because
saying it's better than hot.
Daniel kind of blew over what we do in this segment, but it's hot or not. So we're going to say whether it's hot or it's not. Remember that, Daniel? Remember that's how we.
Yeah, I thought they'd pick up on it from the name.
Okay, I think I'm next. Yes, I don't know where to start with this game, to be honest with you, because I love it and yet I'm disappointed by it. Because yes, Daniel has the Brazilian version. Disappointing that you can't read a word of it. And it's also disappointing with the component quality. There's the good thing about this game is the pictures on the cards. And that's what makes it for me. It harkens me back to my teenage and early 20 years where I'm collecting these comics, I'm reading these comics, and I'm recognizing all of them. Oh, yeah, I remember that one. I remember when that one came out. I remember when I had that one. I remember that. And to me, that's the excitement for this game.
1954 or whatever.
Say they were in color back then?
Whatever. And so that is the excitement for this game. The card quality is bad. The component quality of everything else is bad. The little things you punch out are tiny and minuscule and they're bad. And it's everything else about it is bad. And if this was a game about collecting ingredients to make a recipe, if this was a game about collecting parts to make a car, I would be a hard pass, because it's collecting comic books that I already know about and that I love and that I treasure, and that I'm thinking, hey, it'd be so easy to come out with expansions. Am I right? I mean, just add another hero and a whole set of cards for them, and there you go. Boom. How easy would that be? Because of that, it's hot for me. But if you're not into Marvel, I don't see how it's going to be hot for you, because if it was another theme, the drafting would be okay, and I'd be like, whatever. I really, it's the excitement to me is the art on the cards. I've never, and as much of a theme guy as I am, this is the most specific I've been about something that I'm that excited about, that because I'm going to buy this game. Don't get me wrong, but I'm very disappointed that the American version that's coming out here is the same bad component quality. So it was just in English though, but at least that's a good thing. At least you have an English version. So yes, it's hot for me, but I can understand if somebody has no interest in it whatsoever, because unless you are into Marvel, I don't see why you would like it. But that's what I got.
The mechanics are hot, man. This is a good game.
Okay,
you're weird.
If I don't care what I'm drafting, though, I don't.
Daniel
care about
likes
the
hot
game.
mechanics.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I'll jump in here because I'm next, and that's how the
yes, tell us, Chris.
The clock works and going around the board. I'm trying to figure out a clever way to say that it's hot, but it's not. Not because it's not, but because it's already old. Like immediately, I'm now like, I'm glad I don't live in Germany, because these people will be dealing with this all the time. Like all these Americans, like, this game's so amazing because we just got it. Like, yeah, we've been playing it for like 6 years, bro. Like, I don't understand, right? So I played the Brazilian version since for a couple of years because we got an awesome friend that got it in, and yeah, the game's great. Like, it's fantastic. I don't even remember these. I mean, again, maybe it's just me being me and not caring about the production value and stuff like that. But like, I had no feelings on there being bad production value with the the Brazilian one, and was that was the Brazilian, or are you talking about specifically the American? Or are you
They're
saying
both the
both? Because
same. They're both the
are
same.
right?
I think they're the
Yeah,
same.
they're both
Like
the same.
I didn't get that at all. Like, and I can be critical. I mean, spoilers. I can be critical, right? But I can be critical of production value. Like when I do feel like cards are not like that are really cheap and not well put together and stuff like that. But I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that at all. Like
The cards were probably
granted, I'm
already
not.
sleeved when you played it.
What I mean, maybe because it probably was Daniel
Yeah.
Capel, so
Yeah.
I suppose that's possible. Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember that at all, and I don't even remember these tokens. So maybe it's been a while since I played it. Granted, but I really like the game. It was fantastic. Just like Daniel said, like it is kind of like modern art. While modern art's all about different types of auctions, this is just all different types of drafting. And like the theme means nothing to me because it wasn't essential. Like I know it does something for Daniel, but it could have been about space monkeys. Like that's the thing I always say. Like there's no need for the theme. You're just drafting mechanics, so to speak, and it's fantastic. Like it's one of those games. It's like, hey, do you just want to do a bunch of different drafting in weird ways? Does that sound cool? You'll love this game. It's fantastic. It's hot. Unless drafting's not your thing, then it's absolutely not. So we'll find out if Andy likes drafting.
I want to draft space monkeys.
I mean, you can.
How about sea monkeys? Sea monkeys.
You know what?
Would be good.
I bet there is. I bet there's. I mean, you would probably tell me that there's not, but I bet
Sea
there is a
monkeys in
comic out
space.
there about space monkeys because they have every hero about everything out there. So
fair.
Well, I'll wrap this up with this. We actually had this on a Play Shelf trade a while back, and I ripped into it pretty good just because I didn't think it was anything unique. I gave it another play over the weekend, and I will say I improved my outlook on it a little bit, but I'm still not going to go so far as to say it's hot. So it's still in a not. If you remember the old Hot or Not website, I believe it was a ranking of 1 to 10. We're going to give this one a 4.57, okay?
Wow.
4.57.
That's specific.
Well, okay, because if it's 5 or greater, it's hot. If it's less than 5, it's not. So it's just on the not side. This
but
is not
it's 4.57, which rounds up to 4.6, which rounds up to 5.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, don't get this confused with BGG rankings because that's a totally different thing. BGG rankings, you might as well not have 1 through 5 because anyway, 1 through 4 just means it's terrible. But that's not what I meant. What I meant though is that it's just barely on the side of not hot. I enjoyed the drafting. I enjoyed, and the theme actually started to come together a little bit for me. And Daniel actually put it great in our game. I'm surprised he didn't say this, so I'm going to steal his thunder and pretend like it's my idea. But if you're trading comic books and stuff, it is kind of cool. You're drafting so it is a set collection of a collectible item. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of meta. But Daniel made a good point that it doesn't make a ton of sense because you use comics to buy comics, and some of the comics you have are like really rare first edition comics, and you have to use those to pay for something newer. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because it should be worth a lot more on that scale of things. It doesn't thematically add up. Did I get that right, Daniel? Is that basically what you were
So
trying to say
like
with it?
value wise, it's spot on. The 1963 comic book should be a lot more valuable, but
Sure.
the game rewards you selling that comic to buy the ones that just came out,
Right,
because
right.
that's how you're going to rack up the points, because it's the number of, because you need like 12 this isn't board games, Chris, this is comic books. Comic books are a whole different category of collection where you want the old game, you want these old comic books, there's value in it.
No, it's called materialism is what it's called. It's called them wanting you to get rid of your old crap and buy the new crap for materialistic, capitalistic reasons is what it is.
New hotness.
Yeah.
So
Now, okay, there we go. We need to retheme this with board games, and then it makes 100% sense. Get rid of that old UA game and buy Patchwork, which is actually kind of old now too.
It's
But
old
still.
for him, yeah.
But I got to point out, well, Chris, of all people, he said that this game is not new. I mean, this came out just a couple of years ago, Chris. I mean, I thought this was like the newest type of game you would play. So mark this day in history. Andy played a co-op of Sentinels in the Multiverse, and Chris declared this game as old garbage.
Too old for Chris.
Fair. It's fair.
All right, guys. Well, that is our quick look at Comic Hunters. Most of us really enjoyed it. Overall, I think we say it's mostly hot, though I guess if you're not a fan of comic books, the four of us overall would agree it's not. But they're all wrong. I'm right. Buy this game. It's wonderful. Let us know if you played it and what you think of it. And of course, always give us a subscribe. We really appreciate it.
Round 4, fight!
All right, guys, today we're going to talk about, it's funny that I'm getting this segment, we're going to talk about something that has us happy or glad or something good that's going on in the community right now within board games. I feel attacked. I feel targeted.
Hey, just like Andy had penance for having to play a co-op, you have penance for your anger last episode.
Correct. And you know what? It's fair. I came a little hard. Like, let's be honest. Like, I'm gonna pull the curtain back and break the fourth wall, right? Anytime you are doing any sort of entertainment, right? They tell you, well, there's two things. Either be completely someone different. Sure, that's fine. That's completely acting, right? Or be yourself just turned up to 11. Okay, be a caricature of yourself, and that's what I've been on this show. Now, that you're still probably going to find it. Those of you at home are going to be like, wait a second, this is just him at 11? Like, he really is this way, just a little turned up? It 100% is true. Like, this is who I am, right? But I do, go a little overboard for comedic value sometimes. So, especially like where I was trashing all the different categories and stuff from the Dice Tower Awards about like newest game that's easy to play and blah blah. Yeah, I was being a little mean, a little serious. Like Final Girl, for example, the solo games. Everyone talks so big about it. I would love to get it played at some point just because I want to know what it's about, right? Even though I was like not interested. I have friends, right? Like I get it. So there's that. So, but I do want to say,
had friends.
I had friends before the show. Now it's all okay. Exactly. Good point. But I think that the reality is, because I was talking about like I'm not happy where the industry's going. It's all about birds and nature and all this dumb crap I don't care about, right? But
birds and nature and crap, man.
If you go back to the Gen Con episode, you actually learn that's a load of crap. And the reason you know that is because I decided to make my list based on me just walking through the hall, right? And if I saw something, I would stop and be interested. And I went to BGG, and there's like 12 pages of all the games that are supposed to come out in 2024, right? And I got through like less than a page, and I already had a whole bunch of games I was interested in. So yeah, there are a whole bunch of games that are coming out about nature and birds and all this stuff that I don't care about, but there's still tons and tons of games that still speak to me today in our industry. The kind of games that I loved when I first got into it, those are still being made. There's just other games now that are being made stuff that I don't care about. So, for example, the thing that also is something good that I'm excited about is, yes, I kept seeing this Gnome Holloway game in all of everyone's photos, which had me genuinely intrigued. But one of the games I was most interested on my list here was the Burning Banners game, the game where the map looks like that from Lord of the Rings, and it's a war-based game, and you have all these different factions, and it's a campaign-based game. And I've seen a lot of people with that game, so it tells me that there's still light in the darkness. There are still people out there that enjoy kind of playing the games that I like to play, the kind of games that I've been playing for a long, long time. So that's my something good, is to know that there are still people out there like me that are still selling the kind of products that I'm interested in.
There you go.
All right.
Andy, what you got?
Chris, I gave you an opportunity to talk about DCC here. Like I was you could talk about that even.
No, too late.
Too late now. Too late now.
That's fine. I'll do it some other time. I've always loved DCC. That game changed my life, changed the way I view role-playing games. It's amazing. It's the best one out there.
DCC is like the juicer is to Jack LaLanne.
I don't actually know that reference.
We're the only one old enough to know what that is.
All right. Well, anyway, I could just see Chris doing infomercials for it. But yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to tell you something good about what's going on in the industry.
Hit me up. I would love to promote you.
Okay. Well, taste that wasn't abundantly clear to our audience. This segment is all about what's going on in the industry that is good right now. And we're going to talk about some of the things that are revolutionary, some of the things that are pushing the bounds, breaking new ground in the industry, something that just has given us that warm, fuzzy, feel-good feeling. And for me, what it is it is the deluxe editions of amazing games that have been coming
Yeah.
out. So the Castles of Burgundy deluxe edition that came out, oh, so beautiful, and such a beautiful, wonderful Stefan Feld game. You've got Puerto Rico is going to be coming out with one soon. It's going on Kickstarter within weeks, I believe, and I'm super excited to back that one. And just all these, the people are taking these great classic games and making them beautiful and gorgeous, and that's where I want to invest my time and money, is in getting those games that I love to play and having them look great on the table. And I'm trying to move more into that realm as opposed to chasing the hotness. So we'll see what happens, but that's something that is good that's going on in the industry that I'm excited about personally. So Dana, what you got? What's going on good in the industry for you?
Well, you guys know me. Why I play board games. I love the puzzliness of it. I love the thrill of getting the newest game, but more than anything, I love the people and I love meeting new people. And for me, board gaming has always been about that. And I think I don't know if it's just me, I don't know if it's the industry in large, but right now I feel like there's such a focus on just the people who are playing the games, whether it's FBC gamers that we do every second Friday, or it's the people you meet at Gen Con, or the designers or the publishers who are just so available to the people that are around them. I mean, we've been doing this podcast for 2 years now, and we really haven't met a lot of people through the podcast itself. But as soon as I was like, you know what, because of the podcast, I really should start looking into getting to know people. And like all of a sudden, like I know all of several of these local publishers. Like, I know people from Lucky Duck Games and All Play, and I've in and at Gen Con, I got to meet a couple of other publishers that just like I was just walking around with our friend Topher, and they were like, yeah, come chill with us, And it's like it reminded me how amazing this hobby is and how welcoming people are. I was trying to find the name of the show, but I think it's called Tabletop Turtle. This guy recently made a video that was like, this hobby is not toxic, and it was a refreshing video. And his ultimate theme of it was that there's always gonna be bad people in anything you do. It doesn't matter what it is, because there's jerks out there. Some people suck, and they're gonna find their way into your presence. But overall, what a welcoming and warm and just hobby we have here. And even the people who are the stars of this industry, even them are so approachable. Like honestly, I want to say it. We got an email from Tom Vassell about our last episode. Like, he was like, hey, love the episode. Love the fact that you talked about the Dice Tower Awards. I would like to just come on and talk about the Dice Tower Awards if you're cool with that. The Tom Vassell, he's like the top of our industry in this realm, and he just reached out to us, a little channel that has 900 subscribers. Make it more, subscribe now. And and it was just cool. It's just, I love this hobby, and I love it for that reason, and so many other reasons, but that one's really been on my heart lately. So
I'm shedding a tear because you're so moving, Daniel. You moved me.
I know. That's right. I knew you guys were going to mock me for that, but I don't care. It's what's great about the hobby.
It's all right,
this is a
Daniel.
really cool thing to be a part of.
It's cool. It's so cool.
Yeah, kind of piggyback off of Daniel a little bit. That was something I mentioned after I think after last Gen Con. That was my big thing about that, was how there's not many things out there now that unite people that are so different, and board gaming is one of them, where you can just go there, be a nerd, and hang out with people, and there's no judgment on anybody. Everybody's like, hey, come on, do this. Oh, you like that? Yeah, okay. You can be something you're not into at all, but you go talk to them about whatever they're into. You've been doing that till midnight? Oh, that's insane. Good job. Whatever. And it's everybody just encourages everybody, and it's really great feeling. So you're right about that. But that isn't what I went with, because I'd already talked about that. But what I went with was, I've been, to a lesser degree than Daniel, somewhat of a board game evangelist to different groups and trying to get people involved in board games, because it's such a welcoming community, or it can be. And because I think people are missing out on what I always have considered the golden age of board games. I'm like, you don't understand. This is not life. This isn't Pit. This is, tell me something about anything. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's a game about that. Anything that you can mention, there's a game about that. What did you do yesterday? There's a game about that. And so people don't understand that. And so I've been doing that. And then over the last, I would say it was about 2 years ago, maybe, I was starting to say, you know what? I think this, I think it may have reached its peak. I think we might be on the downhill slide. And what's going to happen when we're on the downhill slide? I mean, people are going to, you see, then COVID hits and you see companies going broke and you see people downsizing and less games coming out. And you're like, is this hobby coming to an end? The hobby that I know and love, is it coming to an end? And then we have Gen Con this year, sold out all 4 days. We have all these amazing new games coming out, and it's like, yes, my hobby is still here. And so the good news to me is the health of the hobby. I think there's been a little bit of a correction maybe in the market, and we had COVID, and so some things changed, and some people got stronger, and some people went away, and it was like an adapt or die kind of a thing. But I think we're getting through that now, and I think we're seeing once again, more amazing games and more things that you would maybe have never thought of that would be a game or coming out as games. And so I think that's just me. Is the health of the industry is what is pumping me up. I love that this healthy. It's healthy because it's so, and it's the reason I'm happy about it is not just because of the good games, but because of the good feel about it, like Daniel was talking about. So the health of the industry is my feel good. And I'm done before my music.
Well, during your music.
Yes.
During your music.
What do you think is something good that's currently going on in the industry? Are you excited about all the things that everyone inside said? And let us know in the comments, and make sure you subscribe.
Yes.
All right. Well, we got the end of the show, and looks like it was a close game. Close game. Chris at the bottom with 10, John and I at 11. And I feel like this is always the case. I think Randy. Maybe Randy's actually Hansa and just likes to give Andy that little extra, bump in points.
Yep.
But regardless, the judge is final, and he said that Andy did the best this episode. So, Andy, what do you got?
Well, thank you, guys. I just want to take a moment to thank all my fans out there and all my friends and the Academy. Once again, it's such a treat to be able to bring this performance to all of you. Now, I've been thinking hard about what I'm going to talk about in this segment because I thought I was going to win because I just knew I was so on point, so on fleek. On fleek. Do they still say that? On fleek? Yeah. Huge performance today. Anyway, I wanted to ask this question and pontificate about it, and I want to get people's responses. What do you guys think about Gen Con and the age appropriateness of it? I have a teenage son. He's 13, and I almost brought him this year. He ended up having some other stuff he wanted to do and did turn me down, unfortunately. We're kind of going through that stage right now where he used to play board games with me, and now he's like, I don't know. I want to play Fortnite. I want to do this with my friends, et cetera, et cetera. But he'll come back. He'll come around. He's going to get back into the hobby. Don't worry. There's hope still. But I've been thinking about trying to bring him to something like Gen Con. He's gone to our local event, the FVC Tabletop Day event, FVC Game Con, and enjoyed that and playing with some friends. But as I was at Gen Con this time, I was kind of looking around and just kind of gauging things, and it's kind of a tough choice. The reason is there's a wide group of people that go to Gen Con. And there's some stuff that is a little bit more mature themed. There's even a booth in the Gen Con area where they're selling stuff that's definitely adult oriented. If you see some of the cosplay, you could go, okay, that maybe is a little more adult oriented. And it's not that I've ever run into anybody mean in the hobby. In fact, I've run into people from all sorts of different viewpoints and values that have all been super nice, as you guys have said, and very welcoming. But at the same time, I kind of ask myself, at what point is this appropriate for bringing kids to Gen Con? There were some kids there, not a ton, but a few. And I think even the organizers of Gen Con have said that they don't consider it a kid event, at least outright. Now, they do have a family day on the last day. But anyway, I'm just curious what you guys think about that and how that affects you. And I know that we have a wide variety of people in our audience. We are all four of us people of faith and have families. And so I just feel like that's something that's interesting to the hobby and something to talk about. And I'm curious what you think out there, all of our followers and listeners. Thank you so much. And I'll shut up now.
Are you curious what we think at all?
I actually like what you brought up there because like maybe there needs to be some kind of board game kid convention because even in our game day that we do or FPC GameCon, we try to have a kid area and
right.
How quickly did that degrade into chaos and people just dropping their kids off there going watch my kids.
Well,
and it's a weird balance. So I don't know. Maybe that's a niche. Maybe that's the convention you can run.
Maybe. I mean, and that's the other thing too, is you have different age groups within kids. Just saying kids is kind of ridiculous because if you got kids 6 and under, they're not there to game. I mean, some maybe, but there's gonna be chaos. But yeah, when you get above, when you start getting into middle school, high school, they definitely can take up the hobby, and I've seen plenty of kids of that age get into the hobby. What were you going to say,
Andy? Let me say this. I don't know why anyone would be tempted to bring their child to Gen Con.
Why is that?
It's hard enough. It's hard enough to just hang out with a fellow adult because
that's fair.
You just can't,
that's fair.
And you don't. Normally, when I went with you, when I'm with Chris, when everybody, you're together for 20 minutes, and it's like, I'll text you, and you're just off doing your own thing. You can't be bothered with, oh my gosh, where did he go now? It's a good luck. Good luck trying to keep track of somebody that's not, independent on their own. No way. There's no way I would bring a kid to Gen Con.
That's a fair point. And haven't other cons, I mean, maybe I'm incorrect in this. I've only been to Gen Con and Origins. I haven't been to a BGG Con yet, and I haven't been to any Dice Tower events. But I believe there was a BGG Con in the spring that was more family friendly. I don't know if that's still the case. I think that was the case. I don't know if that's the same thing with Dice Tower, if there was more of a Dice Tower family event. Anyway, maybe you guys know, you're maybe well versed in this more, so please, by all means, drop notes and comments in the comment section and help a dad out, would you? Help me make a appropriate, mature decision. All right, well, let's wrap things up with what's this new update, John?
Well, it's the Board Game Geek stock ticker, or tracker, whatever, however you want to say it, because I'm not going to do it like a ticker. I'm doing it like a tracker. And it's the Board Game Geek Top 100, and there's been some movement. So if you want to know if your game is worth playing anymore, let's see.
That's right.
Up real big, Dune Imperium Uprising, up to 80 from 61. Oathsworn, give me a break. Up 68 from 65, not up much, it shouldn't be. Hegemony, the one nobody can ever say, is up to 71 from 68. That looks like a good one. What else we got up? We got up Sky Team. There you go, Andy. It's up to 89, from 89 to 81.
Hey,
that's pretty good.
That's a co-op I like. There aren't many.
There you go. Age of Innovation is innovating its way up to 93 from 96. And then we got some big losers coming out. We've got Le Havre. Thank goodness. Le Havre down from 66 to 69. Paladins of the West Kingdom. What's up with this series? We're dropping everywhere. Down from 67 to 70. That was our only big movers this time. So you got a few of them there that you might not want to play anymore because they're not as hot as they once were. Sorry, but they are.
What it's all about. Technically, not if you're actually enjoying the game or not. It's cool.
Technically, no relegations, though. Nothing outside the top 100. So.
No. Those were the games that were on the way out, just like we're on the way out.
That's right.
Thanks to all of our wonderful viewers out there. Remember to tap like and subscribe. Hit those buttons and be sure to join our Facebook group Around the Board. And we love having this time with you every week. And I just get so emotional because of Daniel's speech still. I'm so torn up about it. No, seriously, it is fun. And Daniel, it means a lot more to him than it is to any of us. Email us, mail@aroundtheboard.net anytime. Reach out to us on the social media, and we'll see you next time Around the Board.
I won a tournament.
I didn't know that was. I thought it was just a plain mat you won. I didn't know it was a neoprene actual unmatched mat. That's kind of cool. Which map is it?
Buffy, the Buffy set.
Oh, seriously?
Well, a map is a map. It doesn't matter what set it's from.